All right. So last time we did the beginner guide for new, and I thought it'd be fun to do more of the series. Gonna get through a lot of the heroes at this point. They're probably gonna start coming out pretty quickly. I'd say at least like 2 a week. But we're gonna go with Ira Scarlet Revenger, one of the most requested heroes, because she's just like so new player friendly, and she had just come out. She also can be built pretty cheaply, which is really cool. Like I do think she's a good place to start. And if beginner players are gonna watch these, why not focus on good beginner heroes, right? Okay, so if you've seen these before, I do these little like rating things. So Ira's rating on her initial difficulty is only 1 out of 5, because she's like really simple. She's really simple, really easy, but in a good way. Like you still have to utilize the fundamentals of the game well, but there's not a lot of mechanical prowess you need to have in order to play the deck correctly, right? Like if you're going to play Kano, there's like an execution aspect to the deck, whereas with Ira, it's a little bit more easy to just pick up and play. And I also gave her a 1 of 5 on the difficulty to master, because if you're really good with just about any hero, you can play Ira very well, because again, it's just fundamentals. They transfer really well. And so if you're really good at playing, bravo, then you understand the numbers of Flesh and Blood and how it works and everything. So you'll be able to just pick up and play Ira probably pretty well. I gave her a 3 out of 5 on the aggression. She's a little bit more aggressive than she is defensive, but honestly, she's like a perfect middle ground. She's just like, she has good defensive cards in her defense reactions. She's got a lot of block threes, but she also is always going to be attacking at least somewhat. And so I would say she's a little bit more offensively rated than defensively rated, which is why I gave her 2 out of 5 stars in defense. This doesn't mean her capabilities, by the way. This doesn't mean like how good is she at blocking and how good is she attacking. This is like, what does she play like? And she plays a little bit more aggressive than defensive, but very down the middle. And I gave her a 3 out of 5 of current meta power. Tier 1 decks are going to be like 5, and then like the tier 1.5. So this is probably like new and Viscerai, maybe that kind of stuff is going to sit about here. And then here's the next best thing. Pretty good. Like if you top 8 a calling with Ira, I'd be like sick. Like I wouldn't be surprised to see her top big events. I don't expect Ira to ever win a Pro Tour unless something drastically changes, but that doesn't mean that she's not a good bring. Absolutely perfect for armory level to calling level events. Like you can pick her up and not worry about whether or not she's good enough. That's for sure. Okay, so let's talk about her playstyle. Ira has really good math. I wrote that she's presenting solid turns no matter what her hand is, which is true, and we're going to go over that a little bit in the end. But she always is able to send something. Her weapons, the Kodachis, she gets to play 2 daggers, right? And it lets her, I'm going to move myself when it matters. It lets her even just keep a blue and then send 3 damage. So she's got good 1-card hands. She's got good 4-card hands. She's got strong defense reactions and things like Flick Flack and Sink Below. You know, she's just like always very solid no matter what you do. She has constant value instead of explosive potential, which is what I was mentioning earlier, where like all her hands are pretty good, but none of her hands are like insane. You're not playing against Zen or anything like that, where it's just like a really big pop-off turn where they dump tons of damage on you. I guess current Zen's not really like that, but it's not like you save up for a couple turns and then you go bang and hit them for 30. You're just like constantly doing really good numbers, kind of eking it out, right? She's got a very simple but strong play style. She keeps it simple, stupid. Kodachi, Command and Conquer, good defense reactions. Like I'm just going to be repeating the same things, but that's because that's kind of what Ira is. She's simple. There's a reason why they printed Ira as the starter deck in Flesh and Blood. Yeah, she just does her thing. She chips a lot instead of doing a big burst, where her Kodachis are kind of hard to block. You're always leaking through a little bit of damage. Her Kodachis mean that she's happy to play 1-card hands. Yep, you're happy to just keep a blue and send Kodachi for 1, Kodachi for 2. It's on rate-ish. It's hard to block. In the late game, it's a real menace. Once your opponent starts getting down to like single-digit life totals, it's really hard to properly deal with Kodachis because you can't really afford to take a lot of damage, but you also can't really afford to block 1. You know what I mean? They're really annoying. And then on top of that annoyance, she has Mask Momentum, which pressures her opponents to block, right? Mask Momentum reads, if you've hit 3 times in a row, 3 or more times in a row with an attack. Okay, if you hit 3 times in a row, if you hit with an attack action card, you get to draw a card, which is very good because the Kodachis, like I mentioned, are so difficult to properly block. Your opponent's just going to present, or you, if you're playing Ira, are going to present just really, really little chip damage, and they're not going to want to block it. She's super good at blocking with, or at attacking with breakpoints. She sends 4 a lot. 1s and 2s are not great to block, right? 7s, just numbers that are really hard to block without a 4 block. So if you block with 2 3s, the Command and Conquer is still going to hit you, and that's really bad. And that makes things like Mask Momentum even better. And then I wrote that she's solid into most decks with no overwhelming matchups. She doesn't have the super like high highs and low lows. She's just very solid all the way across the matchup board. So if you're the type of person that hates sitting down and your opponent flips up just like your worst matchup, you just don't ever want to have that feeling, you should play Ira. Okay. You should play Ira. Wow, the transition, that skill right there. You should play Ira if you are looking for a simple entry point into Flesh and Blood. If you say, I want to play Flesh and Blood, I want a deck that's good, but I don't want anything too complicated, Ira is the perfect deck for you. It does a little bit of everything, and it's just good, just solid. If you enjoy eking out value turn after turn, again, she's not super one-turn overwhelming. She's just solid every turn. And because of the way Kodachis and all the breakpoints work, you are chipping down, right? You're not like bursting them. This isn't Kano. You're not playing Wildfire. You're just doing little bits and pieces here and there. If you want strong 1, 2, 5 card hands, meaning that like all of your hand number size is good. There are some decks that really need to be playing 4 or 5 card hands, and there are some decks that really are happy to play 1 card hands. Ira's happy to play all card hands. Any card number, Ira's happy with, unless it's 0. She's just really good at always converting. Lots of go again. Her weapons are very strong. Just good stuff. If you love go again, if you like to attack 4 or 5 times a turn, Ira's absolutely perfect for that. She's going to do it a lot. Most of her cards have go again, and the ones that don't have really icky on hits that your opponent won't want to see. The next one, if you don't want to have very polarizing matchups, again, you want to always know that you're in the game. You have a dog in every race. That's not the right saying. But you're always in the race, right? You never, your opponent never flips up Illusionist and you're playing Kano. It's just, you're always okay. You might have like 40 60s, but you don't have any 30 70s, right? No 20 80s, nothing like that. If you want to learn the fundamentals, I'm just going to keep harping on the same couple things. But if you want to learn the fundamentals of Flesh and Blood, you cannot go wrong by picking up Ira. She'll teach you how to attack. She'll teach you how to defend. She'll a lot of games are going to go to fatigue. So she'll teach you how to play like late game spots. There's just a lot of really good stuff to learn by playing Ira. And the last one is if you want a death by 1,000 cuts type of playstyle. You're going to be chipping. You're going to be cutting away, and you're going to make things awkward to block. That's going to lead to your opponent slowly bleeding out instead of getting absolutely blasted in one turn. All right. Let's talk about her standard equipment loadout. I replaced Harmonized Kodachi. When she's playing Needle. Don't worry about that. You'll see it in the deck lists. Harmonized Kodachi costs 1 and attacks for a 1. Not very good. But if you have a card in your pitch zone with cost 0, Harmonized Kodachi gains go again, and you get to play 2 of them, which all of a sudden gets a lot better. It also gets better when you realize that Ira's ability is your second attack each turn. Oh my god, sorry guys, when I monologue, I forget to breathe and then I yawn. Your second attack each turn gets +1. So if you keep a blue, your first Kodachi comes in for 1, and your second Kodachi comes in for 2. These are difficult to block, which is great for Mask Momentum. This is the one I was talking about. When an attack action card you control is the 3rd or higher chain link in a row to hit, draw a card. Tiger Stripe Shuko. Second attack action card with 2 or less base power you play each turn has +1 and damage can't be prevented. This is really good to just constantly keep your numbers up, right? Just like it's getting a little bit more over the course of the game. Fendel Spring Tunic. It's ubiquitous across Flesh and Blood. This is like one of the best equipment in the game. Definitely the best chess piece, I feel like. At least the best generic chess piece. At the start of your turn, if it has less than 3 energy counters, you put an energy counter on it. And then every 3 turns, basically, you get an extra resource. Very good. And then I put Pouncing Claws. You see in chat, someone asked about snaps over that. Honestly, I've been seeing the lists go both ways, but I think Pouncing Paws is pretty good because it blocks one, and then you can blow it up to make a tiger, which makes it easier for you to activate things like Shuko, Mask, Ira. It just gives you like an extra 2 points. You also like the decks play Mauling Key, so you just like get this and then Mauling Key with it active. I like it. I think it's nice. I also like equipment that blocks though. Let's talk about some common plays you're going to see from her, right? So we have the classic, the standard. You pitch any blue card. Don't look at the text. That's not important. It's just that it's blue and it costs 0 right here. That's the important part because that makes your Kodachis have go again. So you go Kodachi, 1 card, 3. We love that, especially because it doesn't get rid of any of your cards in deck. You didn't attack with anything, which keeps you healthy in fatigue type matchups. Next one. This is an Ira staple. You're going to see it a lot. You pitch a blue. Again, the text doesn't matter. You Kodachi for 1, and then this is supposed to say 7. Ignore that little tail at the end of Command and Conquer comes in for 6+1. Now, this is so good because normal things block for 3. Defense reactions block for 4, but you can't play defense reactions against Command and Conquer. So when it comes in for 7, because of Ira's ability, they have to give you 2 normal cards and a piece of equipment to not get hit and lose their arsenal. Very, very powerful. All right, let's talk about this one. This is just another pretty much Ira staple. They're very simple. Kodachi for 1, Bittering Thorns for 5. When this hits your next attack, it's +1, and then Kodachi for 2 because Bittering Thorns hits. This is a 2-card 8 that is a 2-card 8 that's split up, makes it really hard to block efficiently. And then if you want to move Bittering Thorns over to the right, it threatens Mask momentum, like just good stuff. Ira puts out good numbers, more at 4. And then this is another thing where if you Flick Flack, you get to block 4 with this defense reaction, and the next card you defend with this turn, if it's a card with combo, it gains +2 block. If they attack again, then you get to block with our combo card here for 3+2. That's 5. Which means that you use 2 cards to block 9 on defense. Absolutely unreal, insane value. And this is how she just like slowly grinds you down. Her numbers are just very good. Very consistent. Let's talk about a couple expensive cards and other options that you could run instead. The big one's Tunic. Everyone sees Tunic and they're like, oh my god, this is not it. But if you don't have Tunic, you can get Hardened Crosstrap, which instead of $120 is 1 cent. And basically, this is going to let you just cast your first Command and Conquer for free or whatever, right? Cast your first Erase Face. You just get to send it in there. It's honestly better than Fendals in games that go like less than 6 turns. That's not going to be a lot of them, but they do definitely happen. So really, like, and you save yourself $120. Still steep. 1 cent's too much. Damn, we're gonna have to start spending Canadian dollars instead. The next one is CNC. Everyone says, bro, CNC's too expensive, and it is. I think we're gonna get reprints at some point, but it's way too expensive. It's $100, and you need 3 of them. Now, there's nothing that can really replace Command and Conquer, but if you want something that's also annoying to play against and won't quite break the bank, you can get Erase Face for $13. You also can just like play any other card. Like if you just want to start, you don't need Command and Conquers. You don't need anything over $10, right? And you can just start playing Ira and it'll be fine. The deck will be okay. But the most important tip for affording the decks, if you want to go budget, is you should ask your locals if you can proxy cards or just borrow them. And if you're just playing armories, I almost guarantee you that people will either give you cards to borrow or just let you print them out. You print them out, you put them behind a different bulk card in the sleeve. Boom, done. That's it. You should try to do this. This is good. And yeah, that's it. That's it for the Ira beginner guide. We have like one last slide, which is basically me asking who you want to see next, Florian or Vincent. I'm in a sad Runeblade mood apparently. Yeah, that's all. I hope you all enjoyed. There's going to be a deck list pinned in the comments of the YouTube video if you want to try it out on Talishar or see what all the cards in it are. And yeah, hope to see you at an event. See you guys next time.